Welcome to the Mr. Liquid Wood Show with your host, Aaron, founder of California Deluxe Windows on AM 870, The Answer, where Aaron talks about current events and insights on daily living. And now, here's Aaron, Mr. Liquid Wood himself.
Thank you, Kevin, and thank you, Christy. We have visitors in our studio, and you will find out a little bit later who it is. But for now, we're trying to put the show into 21st century technology. This is an incredible week, and I got up this morning and said a long prayer of thanks for my country, for my family, and for the opportunity to sit here behind this golden CDW microphone and talk to you, all the great people who tune in to Mr. Liquid Wood Show at KRLA 870, The Answer. You know what incredible privilege it is to be able to sit here on this historical week where the democracy, real democracy, played it out. And nobody was abused and nobody was hurt. And I remembered when I was young in some obscure, distant country, when you were called by soldiers, or actually walked by soldiers into a precinct to vote. And everybody was getting 99.9996% of votes. You know how it was, and I looked here day and night on television, and I saw people actually kind to each other, and people are supporting each other. And you know, yes, it hurts probably, but it hurts the same if your favorite team loses a national championship or Super Bowl or anything like that. And I know it's painful for a while, but believe me, and I want to use the words of President Obama, the sun will come up tomorrow, and you will still have the loving and caring people around you, and you will still be pursuing your dreams. And don't let Washington, D.C. to determine the outcome of your life, because it's up to you and people next to you. And I don't know if Trump will make it better or not. I don't know what will happen, but I know one undeniable fact, that we together will continue to do things that are right. You know, I came back to my office on Tuesday and I saw most of the personnel had the stickers, I voted. I came up to them, men, women, and I did not ask them questions who you voted and why, and none of this. I just came up, I hugged them and said, you are great American. And that's how I felt at this moment. And you know, those words of Ray Charles always touched my heart, always. And I become even more emotional when I see the things happening here, that there is no other country in history, no other society in history was able to accomplish so much in such a peaceful transition. Oh, somebody just came to visit us. Thank you, sir. I'm so glad that you could stop by.
Well, thanks, Aaron. It's great to be here at the CDW microphone. I'm very proud of the democratic process, and now that the election is over, we all need to become united under one nation. Don't let me forget, if you need Windows, be sure to call CDW Windows. They got you covered.
Thank you so much. So going back to where we were, I was kind of curious. I looked up about the happy stories, as I always do. And you know, I don't want to talk about politicians giving their own money. I don't even talk about the swimming pool noodle that makes the cars drive around you if you're riding bicycle to work. What I want to talk to everybody is, I had a great break. I had 3 days to adjust to the results of this incredible election. And yes, it was incredible because people were texting and writing and calling all day, all night, because nobody knew what's going to happen. And I want to congratulate some of the people on KRLA station that had a position of open mind, like Dennis Prager, for example. I was always thinking that that's a great approach. He was not my choice. He was not this, but I'm not going to go and kill myself or anybody. I'm just going to support the person that I think will make some inroads. And some other people said, no, the other way around is more useful. And I looked at them and I said, great. If you have a chance to state your opinion and your true feelings, it's wonderful. Because for everybody who listens to this show, I want to tell you, God blessed me in many different ways. And I want to be grateful back for everything that I got. But I will never call myself professional broadcaster, because I come in once a week and I share with you my thoughts and opinions. And some of you agree with me and some disagree. But I always believe that our conversation will make our life a little bit better. Even if you hear somebody who doesn't agree with you, you talk like a human being. You talk like people who are building the same house. Even the married couples, then when they renovate a home, they disagree of colors of the tiles in the bathroom, or the tiles or color of the entrance door. They disagree, but they don't kill each other. They don't punch each other. They just continue building the house together. And this is my analogy for the greatness of this country. Yes, we disagree, but we still will continue to build this once in a lifetime, once in the history of human civilization, once on the planet, country that gave us opportunity to see that if we want some changes, it actually happens without firing a machine gun in the street. You know, if you don't know, I will tell you how changes happened in October Revolution. You know, everybody got armed and went and killed everybody who wasn't there in the street. Or look, every revolution that you saw, everywhere, every upheaval was just killing others who don't agree with you. And you know, on Tuesday, people who disagree with each other were sitting behind the same desk and quietly, peacefully expressed their opinion. I wanted to run up and hug them. I wanted to hug them so badly, because it's completely convinced me that this country will always be strong, will be rich. It's just a matter of degree, as I said before, but we will continue building this country. And yes, we may take some detour, and I even agree with President Obama, who said that our country is zigzagging. It's not always straight line, but we will continue zigzagging to the prosperous future, to the great future for every American in this country. You know, I was talking about mindfulness and what it actually means, and I think it's kind of helpful for us together to know a little bit more about what it does. And you know, the best writer, Rasmus Hogard.
Easy for you to say.
No, it was difficult for me. But I assume he was somewhere from the northern countries, close to North Pole. But he wrote about our condition, emotional conditions, if something does not go our way, or something that we feel extremely disappointed. He even created a formula. P times R equals S. Now, that's not a formula how to get to Mars. It's not a formula. It's a formula of how to calm yourself and learn to accept things that you personally cannot really change. Where P stays for pain, R stays for resistance, and S stands for sufferings. Resistant to the outcome that will by that point to be totally out of your control. So here's a pain where you really emotionally attached, but you cannot change it. You could in the beginning, you voted, you sent in money, you talked to your friends, you did a lot of things during the process. That was under your control. But then things happened, and it's completely out of your control. But you still are emotionally outraged. Indignation came in, anger, fear-mongering, all of this started to affect you emotionally. So what do? You know what? it's time. Can you hear me? It's time to accept the outcome and refocus on what we actually have control over. And I thought that was absolutely ingenious observation, because what makes us most unhappy in life is the things happening around us that we have no control over it. But it still does not reduce the amount of emotion we have as an outcome of this event. And we together always share one important, undeniable fact.
And that would be?
That in this life, most of the things are up to you. Most of the things are under your control. So if you want to accomplish something, I like this one comedian said, he thought it's a joke. I thought it was profound. Now after Trump won, we finally can stop lying and it becomes true. Anybody can be president if they decide to. Now, I wanted all the little girls and all the ladies and all the women and all the grandmothers to think that the fact that Hillary didn't make it this time doesn't mean that women will not be able to run this country or will not be able to be admirals and generals. It does not mean. It just was a choice for this particular election. And I do want to encourage everybody. It doesn't matter. Remember, Christy, I always told you, if I see a person who has a great character and works hard and wants to accomplish something, I never look at the gender or color or age. I just look at the character. And that's why it's important. And I believe that with all my heart. And I know that some women think that maybe it's a setback for them. Absolutely not. It's not a setback. It's moving forward all together on the same big ship. And I can this analogy that my company is a big ship going to the tropical island, and hopefully one day we'll arrive there and have a couple days sitting by the pool and drinking pina colada. I want just for a moment, to imagine that our entire country is on very comfortable cruise ship going to some very funny and good destination, and we all will have moments to celebrate, relax, and sit there.
Sounds good to me, a.k.a. Happy Land.
Right.
Yeah. Yes. Well, the thing is that, you know what, if you don't think about it, it never happens.
Sure.
If you begin to think about that, it happens. And you know what? One amazing thing that I saw, and I was very pleased, that when Hillary came out to make a speech, or when Trump came out to make a speech, they brought the entire family and all their friends and everybody who surrounded them. And I thought to myself, you see, this is amazing, because in other countries, the family has to hide under the desk because everybody tries to kill them.
Yeah, and I like the fact that they both brought the big cup of humility.
Yes.
I mean, they were
it was absolutely, it was like, I'm too naive to understand how you can call somebody a crook or idiot or imbecile or all that, and next day say that you're a very great person and you're wonderful. But that's the name of this political game, and I guess they all used to it, and they do it on a dime.
Yeah.
And I was very touched. The way they said goodbye.
No, I thought it was great. I mean, it's like two boxers. You see them boxing,
I
and
was
they're trying
just
to knock
thinking
each
that.
other's heads off, and then later
Out of the
they're having
ring.
dinner.
Exactly.
They're having dinner
Right.
together. And
well,
I mean,
that's a great analogy.
Yep.
But the thing is that there is, in the boxing ring, it's just you and the opponent, and you box and you hug and you go together, have dinner, you meet with the family. Here's the whole country.
Yeah, it's a much bigger.
59 million people on one side and 59 million people on the other side, plus minus few thousand. And so it's not everybody can digest this political game where you just, you're friends and right after it's finished.
Yeah, well, I think that, like I said, Trump's acceptance speech to me was the most presidential he's been in this whole year and a half game.
In like 6-8 months ago, somebody asked me a question. Very, very smart, very deep, very intelligent man asked me a question. Do you really think somebody in business can become a president? And I said, kind of, yes, it's possible, because in business you have to make decision on the spot. You don't have a focus group. You don't have a particular ideology. You just, people ask you and you have to decide. And the worst of it is that you don't decide for yourself. You decide for everybody who works with you and for all these hundreds of families that will be affected by it. And so that's why I thought that maybe it's possible. And you know what? I don't know if in the future any other business person will ever win presidency. I don't know what will be in the future. I don't care if Putin likes it or doesn't like it. And I don't care as much as Japanese prime minister is sitting there on a toilet looking at all the news. Excuse me. I only think that if he will do what needs to be done for American people and for this great country, we will be great all together. We will be back next week, the same time, at the same station. Until then, stay rested, stay humble, stay happy, and like always, stay curious, stay informed, stay flexible, and stay liquid.
You've been listening to the Mr. Liquid Wood Show with your host, Aaron, founder of California Deluxe Windows. If you have questions or topics you'd like Aaron to discuss in future shows, you can email Aaron at mrliquidwood@cdwindows.com. That's Mr. spelled M-I-S-T-E-R, liquidwood@cdwindows.com. That's all the time we have for today. So come join us again next week, same time, same day, for the Mr. Liquid Wood Show.
Oh, Kevin, I forgot to say thank you for coming and becoming our mystery guest today. Thank you, and have a great time.
Well, thanks for having me, Aaron.
It was great having you.